Hi guys, how are you?
Hey
Good, how are
Rachel,
you?
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. So to start, I feel like this is a fear that I'm not alone in having, that someone's gonna accidentally die and then I'm gonna get blamed for it. So I want to know, would you guys course correct as badly as these two characters do in trying to cover up something that they were not in, like they didn't seek out to do, or would you be a little bit more level-headed in a situation like this?
No.
No. Yeah, we're
Well,
terrible at stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I work much better in tense situations, but I'm also way less logical. So
Yeah,
we would probably we would get into worse trouble.
yeah.
well, it's also you put it in Italy, and I said if there's one place like it's beautiful, I'm Italian, I would never want to do a crime there because
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just gonna get stuck in Italy for the rest of time.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's this beautiful mix because like during the daytime everything's like picturesque and wonderful, but then at night it gets like really scary. You know what I mean? Like it's shadowy and weird, and there's ghosts and stuff. So it was a great place to shoot and work.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys because recently we have this is now I think like the third or fourth project where it's like that mystery murder story of some kind in Italy. What do you think it is about that that joint story or whatever however you want to call it that really works with like setting these murder movies, whether they be comedies or a bit more serious, in Italy?
I think it's very easy to, it's a place that so many people want to go and spend time and have a familiarity with the culture that it's a great way to get your audience to sort of buy into the story and then swerve it into something different. So, also it's just a great place to work and be. So,
yeah.
Well, on some level, it's a little selfish. You guys are like, well, we could just like go to Italy.
Of
So,
course,
totally
shoot
selfish.
every
Yeah.
movie in Italy. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and I love like you have two of the funniest people I think of all time starring in this movie because I'm a big comedy
oh,
girl. So like
right.
I love
Oh,
what? Yeah, yeah, we can say yeah, the goat, of course, not Nick Kroll and or Andrew Rannells. Talking about the goat. But I do love that like you have these two people who are known for being funny, but then like Nick Kroll is also known for like saying off the wall things that are not scripted. So I want to know, how was it kind of working with people who are so funny and know what they're doing, and how much did you either have to rein them in or let them kind of do what they wanted to do in these scenes?
they're very professional.
Yeah.
Like they're super funny, and they definitely got fun runs where they were able to improvise. But they also both come from comedy duos themselves, with John Mulaney and Josh Gad on either side of them. And so they know how to share really well, which was real. And they both love each other to death, like as human beings. And so it was just really wonderful to have one performance, especially having, they're in 98% of the movie together. So, it just was a dream team. Like we couldn't have asked for a better cast.
Yeah, and now for a last question, because that made me think about it. If you had to put Oh Hello or Gutenberg in this situation, who do you think would fare better?
Oh, hello,
Oh,
guys.
hello,
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
The Gutenberg guys would just like they'd like be making a joke about the pizza where like Gil
Gil,
Gil
Gil Faizon
Yeah,
Gil Faizon
he's
would.
dissolved a body in a bathtub.
Yeah,
I
he's
totally would.
oh, 100%.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
Sophie.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys for talking with me. I think this movie is so funny, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you
great.
guys. Have a great one.
Rachel,
Hi, Morgan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. So to start, this movie is, I think, one of my biggest fears, but also I think everyone can kind of also relate to like the idea of someone dying and you getting blamed for it when it was an accident.
Hmm.
But I wanted to ask you, would you course correct as badly as they do and just like double down and try and fix it? Or how would you kind of address like I think what, as I said, everyone's biggest fear of I didn't do something and I'm gonna get blamed for it?
The first thing to do if you believe you've committed a crime is call your lawyer and don't say shit to the cops. Sorry, excuse me. Don't say anything to the police without your attorney present. Anything, word one. That's my best advice.
Well, I also love too that this movie is like set in Italy, which I think as an Italian, there's a bad rap about doing a crime in Italy. You're like, no, I'm gonna get in so much trouble and like end up stuck in Italy for the rest of my life. So it's funny kind of getting to watch it. But when you're in something that is so weirdly funny and dark, what for you is the most fun aspect of that? What is it, like the darker comedy moments, or is it just kind of getting to mess around with everybody in these scenes?
I mean, both. I think as a viewer, I really love a movie that audiences. I think we all have a little inner sicko, and I think and movies are a wonderful place to explore cruelty and violence because we don't actually, no one actually has to be harmed, right? And I love a movie that knows that sometimes we really have like somebody we want to see terrible things happen to good people. Because it happens in life, like that's one of the horrible things about being a human being is seeing that stuff happen. So when you see it in movies, you can kind of play it out. And as far as just being, my character comes into this story and has no idea what's happening. Right, for him, this is a great night. Something really wonderful is happening for his mom. He's dealing with the loss of his brother that from a while ago, but he's just on a completely different wavelength than our two main characters. And there's always something really fun in that, in just sort of staying in your own limited perspective, even though as an actor that around you is total chaos.
And for last thing I want to ask, because I think I love that we keep setting very dark and twisted things in like beautiful Italy, because it's it's like so contrasting when you look at what's happening in the story versus like scenery and everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the most, like, why we keep doing that and why it is so funny to just like be in these beautiful places and then just watch chaos erupting within these characters?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, are you thinking of White Lotus as well?
Yeah, it's White Lotus. I'm thinking they just did Another Simple Favor is in Italy. There's like so many things that we keep putting in Italy and then being like, and here's this crazy.
I guess when we travel to Italy as Americans, there is this expectation of it's going to be romantic and it's going to be bucolic, and it's like it's this way of living that's more pure and beautiful and connected to the land or whatever. But then, of course, the chaos that we're hoping to escape follows us invariably, because that's what happens. Wherever you go, there you are, and that's where we are at the moment. We're not escaping. We're not escaping our own bad vibes anytime soon, I don't think.
That is so true. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I think this movie is so funny, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it.
Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you. Hi
Hi,
guys, how are
sorry.
you?
Good.
Hi.
Hi. So to start, I feel like this kind of situation is one that everyone fears in some way, shape, or form, where someone's going to accidentally die and you have to kind of deal with it. I want to know, would you guys personally course correct as badly as these characters do? Or do you think you'd be a little calmer in a situation like this?
I would like to think I would be calmer, but I guess one never knows until they're in that situation.
Or we do know, and behind the scenes of making this film, we did our own real talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
And
we're really inspired.
Man, you could have been in, you really look like you could have been in talented
That's
Mr.
the
Ripley.
nicest thing you've ever said to me. That's all I want. I was so upset when we got to film this movie in Rome, and I love the talented Mr. Ripley, and I was so disappointed to know that a lot of those locations were not real. Like I kept looking for things.
Oh,
they're like, that's not in Rome. That's
yeah.
someplace else. I was like, what?
And that's why we shot on real. Andrew insisted we shoot on all real locations for everything that we did in the film.
Everything you see in this movie is real.
Yeah, including all of the murders.
Yeah.
So Andrew insisted the only way he could do that is if he could actually murder real people on camera.
I don't really act
as much as he reacts.
I have to react to real timing.
To real timing and real crimes that he's committed.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That's the magic of movie making. But I do have to ask. So I was talking to the directors, and we were talking about you guys as comedians.
Oh, you were?
So
you were talking
funny.
to the directors?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But we were talking about how funny you guys are, and I was asking about the process of all of it, and they brought up that you guys are part of comedy duos, and it kind of helps when you're working together as a two-person scene or whatever it is. And it made me think, out of your two Broadway performances, do you think the men of Oh Hello or the men of Gutenberg would survive in this situation better? Like, which duo do you think could complete this?
Fair question.
Well,
Gil Faizon would immediately like crumble and like slide into the puddles, the ancient sewer systems of Rome, and be carried off on a dirty aqueduct out of the city. Yeah, to the ports of Napoli, where he'd be treated like a $3 cat.
And Bud and Doug, I think they would. The body count probably would have been higher.
Yeah, I feel like
I feel like they just would have started killing anybody around them.
Anyone who looked at them.
I would say more potent.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I also think it's so funny that this is, and now Andrew, this is the second movie you've been in. You didn't get to go to Italy in the other one,
Is this
but
your
like
second movie?
a murder movie that is set in Italy.
It's very strange.
What do you guys? I was asking her this. What do you think it is about Italy that we're like, yeah, let's set murders here and like have some comedy and just kind of explore that in our films?
Sorry, we just want to watch TV for a minute. We're gonna. So I hate to interrupt, but we want to watch hotel TV for a little bit to see what's available on Google Chromecast for us right now. So there's a lot of possibilities, but bottom line is we've got the controllers now, and that's what we meant. And
I'm the captain now.
Yes. So
hell yeah.
We did it. I solved it.
You solved it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Can I ask where you are or purporting to be?
I am in New York at a Starbucks because my Wi-Fi died.
No.
Just out of
Shout out to Starbucks for rocking that quality enough.
Use that app. Get those points.
Yo, honestly, shout out to Starbucks for those little egg white bites. Those little bites.
The Gouda bacon ones.
And I'm not hating on a spinach wrap from Starbucks.
No.
We're not getting paid by Starbucks to say this. And I want to be crystal clear that we are open to that opportunity.
Yes. But I will fuck up an egg bite if given the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I hope you get your egg bite. Before I leave, I have to just say, Nick, you are in one of my all-time favorite shows because Parks and Recreation is the love of my life.
Oh, I thought you were
cat
gonna
is
say
named after
caveman.
my wife.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, not the short-lived caveman.
Yeah.
But so it's an honor to talk to both of you. I love both your careers, and so thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Douche Nation.
Thank you guys.